work in partners, research exercises, and then be able to demonstrate, so that then kids could go back and watch the videos and learn about the exercises without me demonstrating them.
Virtual flashcards. So you just put in the words you want, put in the definitions. I mean, I make Quizlets for like every class that I need to learn a whole bunch of vocab.
So teachers can create vocab sets on Quizlet, and then kids put in a code and you can join the classroom so you can use any of the vocab sets that they make.
I also use this for my Spanish vocabulary words because in Spanishes 1, 2, and 3, it's really important to be able to know a lot of different types of vocabulary and verbs and that sort of thing. So the flashcards especially are a really great way to get to know the words and be able to speak them fluently.
But it was really cool to see kids having a good time with it and actually getting a chance to try something different and to realize that code could be for anyone if they, are willing to try it. So I just want to keep driving that point home with them that they can do anything.
Today, they got to go on a field trip, because I can't afford to send them on that field trip, with Google Maps. So as a teacher,
through a webinar and have an opportunity for the students to interface with them, ask questions about technology, and see how it works in a real-life setting. My students were also able to communicate in a group setting and have some one-on-one interfacing with people in the work field, that they were able to ask any questions about technology and get advice or learn about how reading and writing helps them, all kinds of fun things.
Class that you're having a lecture for and you miss the lecture and your teacher uses Flipgrid to just post sections of the lecture, that could also be useful for learning the information.
Today in the Chromebook I learned that if you change that words that you have to change words on turn, then you change it onto a Y, or if you have to change it to an I.
All right. So audiobooks in my classroom, I'm using them for my co-taught teachers because we're focusing on equity of access for kids. When I have, especially at the beginning of the year, co-taught learners, they need a book in their hands, and if they can hear it, then they can work with higher level books, or honestly I should say almost on grade level, because usually they're reading several grades below their level. So instead of getting a high-low book, which is what we used to do, which is not all bad, but it's very simplistic, they can enjoy books at their own level.
Ready?
The audiobooks help me a lot, and they help me get my work done. They helped me get most of the questions right.
I learned Edwards on the Chromebook. And I became better at doing it by showing them.
So our mentors help us to be successful, and then they put a goal for us, and then they try to make us get to that goal. And then sometimes we make it and sometimes we don't, but most of the time it's a lot more helpful.
Yeah.
I'm helping my table do some texting and show pictures.
So students, when they were doing 3D design, they went through 5 lessons that they learned how to manipulate shapes and projects and develop ideas. And then what a lot of students did when they were developing their own independent project is they started from a blank screen, and they used what they learned about shapes, and they just designed something that came up in their head and made it that way.
So we found some fun facts. A popcorn kernel can actually pop up to 3 feet high.
So
trying to find ways that they can solve our future problems today with the things that they're doing in the classroom.
The problem was pencils were falling off the desk, so we came up with a solution to make pencil holders.
I'm trying to make sure that with my presentation that I have all the information and my sources are all good.
And you go on Growing Our Brains, and you do it the assignment. First you watch the video, and first you also have to put on your headphones, and then listen.
Yeah. Okay. Except you spelled dollars wrong, so how do you spell dollars?
I'm pretty sure it was just an O. Is that good?
No, it's an
And so the hardest part of this project was that piece, using data to link human activity to climate change. And that's one of the big things that the NGSS, or the Next Generation Science Standards, do, are asking students to make sense of data and utilize that data in making predictions and correlating it in other directions, finding different applications. Where does this apply? And so that's a good challenge for them.
I was trying to, one of my essential questions was, where do people who are obese or have type 2 diabetes live in regards to major cities? And I had found a study in the UK saying that there are about twice as many fast food restaurants in poor income residences. The layer that I have is the type 2 diabetes map. So the red is where it's the worst, and then the green is where it's better. And all of this is condensed into the South, mostly. The worst was in West Virginia and Alabama and Texas.
So the little dots again are the fast food franchises, the locations of them. So the places.
And you can see all of the red is down here, so that's the type 2 diabetes, and it's orange up in here. So yeah, so that means that there's clearly some sort of correlation going on.
I became an expert by teaching other people how to make another page.
So the reflection is basically looking back at what you did. You give the score you got, and then specifically you highlight the evidence that you used while you were using it, which is good for the future because then you can see how much you use now so that you can increase it later.
Because I firmly believe in making sure kids show their learning and expect myself to give feedback immediately, I could not do that without Canvas.
And each unit gives kids a lot of opportunities to choose. It also has a lot of extensions. So it's really great for those kids who maybe are quick learners, and it might be, I'm done now, what can I do? And rather than it seeming like, oh, just do more, they actually have choice to do some enrichment. And kids have really appreciated that. A lot less complete.
So fun.
Three.